dialogue, context, and a productive conversation is paramount to having a productive dialogue. I have had specific conversations with individuals where we keep going down the same path, or they are incoherent of the points I'm trying to make. If I see that the conversation is not a productive one, I walk away. That's one of the issues we are seeing right now in society. Right now, we have millions of Americans out of work. We have thousands of Americans with the virus. We have people dying. We have all of these events affecting everybody's life. I was just talking to my neighbor a few days ago. Very intelligent, beautiful woman. This was supposed to be her year. Senior prom, homecoming court. She was playing on the softball team. She was ready to go to her graduation. But due to schools being canceled for the rest of the year, she's no longer getting to do that. Today was my birthday. I was supposed to go to a baseball game. Kind of disappointed, and I understand in the grand context of things, it is not equivalent to a pimple on a dinosaur's ass. I get all that. But the point I'm trying to make is we need to have dialogue. We need to have productive conversations about how to hit the major affected areas, how to improve testing, certain things we can use, whether it be sunlight, hydroxychloroquine, zinc, tonic and gin, just certain solutions in order to have a dialogue going back and forth. With all of this being said, a fucking furloughed worker with a cheap-ass phone is having a more productive conversation than the vast majority of the mainstream lying traitorous from hell media. The media right now cares more about politics, cares more about setting their agenda, rather than having these productive conversations. The whole entire conversation is, did Trump say you should inject yourself with Lysol? And then you have these clowns like Douglas Brinkley, who's never had a real job, has never owned a business. He's not affected by this. That motherfucker is still on MSNBC, flapping his jaw, shitting in his mouth like he always does, saying what a disaster it is. But technically speaking, when Trump's shut down travel from China, he was called a xenophobe, even though he did this very early on, while the Democrats were focused on this impeachment hearing. Again, I'm not trying to say Trump is the savior. Actually, my issue is I don't see the point of bailing out large corporations. That's a substantive, that's a logical, that's a policy that needs to be discussed. It needs to be a conversation that is had. I also don't like the idea of shutting down the economy, depending on which region you're in. For instance, I live in a small county with around 30,000 people. So far, there is one death confirmed, and there are 7 cases. The discussion, the topic at hand should be rural areas need to open up. Larger metropolitan areas like New York, where now 1 in 5 people are infected, according to the latest numbers, need to be shut down longer. That's why each state, each governor, each mayor needs to have that conversation. And that's why we gotta stop the fucking politics, alright? We gotta get people back to work. We gotta get people help. We have got to be productive. But as long as you care more about politics, what somebody said when families can't put food on the table, what someone said when there are seniors who don't get to go to their senior prom. And you're worried about that, and you wonder why the common average Joe who pays their bills, who does their job, who is just trying to make a good life for their family, hates your guts. You wonder why people like me call you fake news. You wonder why we call you the enemy of the people. It's because you don't give a damn. You're so out of touch with the common person that you're not even having conversations that pertain to the topic at hand. That's why these 6 corporations, Disney, Sony, Comcast, AT&T, Disney, National Amusements, need to be broken up. 6 companies control all the media that we consume. And these 6 corporations are no longer